Hey guys, got to say thank you to everybody who used and abused me last week. I did have a good number of people ring and ask some questions, and I had some really great chats. And the offer still exists. If you've got some questions, if you want to say, hey Jace, if I was to pay an extra X amount on my home loan or put this X amount into super, what would the impact of that be? I want to know. My job is to give you clarity about what the future looks like and peace of mind to know that you're doing the right things all the way along the way. So feel free to use and abuse me. That's what I'm here for. This week, you are in for a treat. I'm going to give you some numbers that are going to blow you away. Let me minimize my big head and tell you what it is. All right. Your wealth, your way. This amazing financial planning process that we offer. How much do you want to live off when you retire? How much wealth do you need to accumulate? Are you on track? If I'm talking to someone that's pretty young, I say, you don't need to care about that. But what you need to realize is the amount of time that you've got left and making sure you use time wisely and get the full value, the full benefit of time. Let me show you what I mean. I have put in here, me, Jace Cosgrove, born the 6th of the 1st, 1980, 42 years old. Let's say I want to retire in 30 years and I want to save up $1 million in outside of super money. I need to put away $736 a month, which becomes $1 million at a 10% return. $1 million, 30 years, there we go. Have a look at this. The balance grows by $82,290 between the year 29 and the year 30. It took us all the way down here, 61 plus earnings of 16, still not $80,000. It took us into our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, took us into our 8th year to even accumulate over $80,000. In the final year, it earned more than $80,000. That's what I mean by making the full use out of time. Using as much of it as you can. You don't need to do as much because watch what's next. Let's say if I change myself that I want to retire when I'm 62. Now I want to retire in 10 years. If I want to accumulate that same $1 million, how much do you think I need to put away a month? 1, 6, 5, 3. 1,653 becomes, in the year 2042, in 20 years from now, $1 million. So I say, if you don't use time wisely, you've got less time to get the result, meaning you've got to do more in the time. So if I was to wait an extra 10 years, I need to put away 1,653 instead of 736. So well more than double what I needed to. But what about if I waited another 10 years? What about if I say, you know what, I want to retire in 10 years at age 52 and I want to have this $1 million. Are you ready for this? How much do you think you're going to need? Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds to figure out what you think it was. It went from 736 to 1653, so a bit more than double. Is it more than double again? You ready? 5,007. In 10 years' time, 2032, $5,007 a month becomes $1 million. So had we have started with 30 years, we're at 736. Habits, automation, discipline. This is everything I've been talking about for the last year or two. I can't remember. How long has it been? Anyway, I wanted to show you the impact of the numbers. Use time wisely. Get everything you can out of the time you got left. If it's 30 years, you've got to do a fraction of what you've got to do. No one's going to put away $5,007 a month. Let's be real. So they're not even going to get there. So if we're going to do something that's achievable, build long-term habits, happy days, it becomes a whole lot easier if I go back and say, by the way, I don't want to retire when I'm 72. I'll be retired long before that. But 30 years, $736 a month. Now, one other thing I want to show you with this number. Let's say you started with $25,000. Actually, let's say you started with $5,000. Instead of it getting to $1 million and a bit, it gets to $1,045,000. So that $5,000 turned into $45,000 over the course of that 30 years. What if it was $10,000 that you started with? That became $1,091,000. What if you were able to find $25,000 to start with? $1,227,000. So that $25,000 became an extra $227,000 over 30 years. Guys, that is what I call using time wisely. please, if you can, do something about it. That's the Friday wrap. I shall talk to you next week, unless you use and abuse me in the meantime. See ya.